too good to be true or cliche. No, this is absolutely God's honest truth. When they scored, I did not panic. When they scored, I said, excuse my words, I said, I'm not losing to these fuckers. So I get back to the huddle. Coach Adele Higgins.
Hey guys, it's Terrence Mann. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Nole Game Day. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, a.k.a. E-Dub, in the house. So we're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Nole Game Day. Go Live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Nole Game Day. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother. What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, presented to you by Nole Game Day.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. SSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What's happening, guys? This is Logan from Hear the Spear, presented to you by Nole Game Day. We are here this evening, Monday. We have a stacked podcast for you guys. As a big guest on Hear the Spear this week, we have DeMarcus Walker. He's a current defensive end with the Broncos. Obviously, had a great career here in Tallahassee at Florida State. He joins us for 30 minutes to talk about his time at FSU, what he's doing right now to train for his upcoming season in Denver. Also talks a little bit about Jimbo Fisher, his thoughts on Willie Taggart, Mike Norvell, and a load of other things too. A great interview with him. For the rest of the podcast, we have we're going to talk about Anthony Grant and him leaving the team. Also, we're going to talk about the Doak Campbell Stadium name possibly changing here soon after a Thrasher statement. And then we're going to go through our top 3 worst sports to watch. Should be a pretty interesting conversation between the guys here. And we're going to run through some basketball and some trivia and bad dad jokes end off the podcast. With me this evening, Dustin Lewis, our lead writer and editor, and our lead basketball writer, Austin Veazey. What's going on?
We made it through the intro, baby.
Yeah, it only took 6 minutes, but yeah, we got there.
The thing is, over his words, saying the wrong word, but we made it.
The thing is, though, you have to go through that cleanly, and I have to say, even though there was fumbling, there was some. Yes, I did it as good as I could. I thought it was pretty nice.
There was a flub or two, but
there was, and
it was a B plus.
Okay, I'll take a B plus on that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
B+.
I should let one of these two do the intros for next week's, and I want to see how they do.
I'd be prepared beforehand.
I like running through it just on my head and kind of just go with it because it's more organic and it's not fake.
And it's also you forget my name.
Well, yeah, and that like I said, I wanted to be real, and I actually forgot your name for real. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, I think we need to start off first before anything, Austin, and kind of give an applause and really celebrate a new beginning for Dustin Lewis. He has gone. Yeah, this is huge. He's gone from Android to iPhone. This is your first time in your life, right, that you've gone from the Android gang to the real common sense people with the iPhones, right?
Yeah, how do I get my screen to not be black anymore?
You charge your phone.
It's like 100%, I think.
Turn it on.
I think you did turn it on. I think you turned it off earlier.
I accidentally sent emergency SOS, and we've been lost ever since. I'm still waiting for the cops to show up.
Well, I mean, you were trying to take a screenshot, and Dustin asked us how to do it, and I don't have an iPhone 11, but it seems like he might have just ruined his iPhone, so that might have been it for him.
Yeah, it's been one day, and it's a black screen. I mean, that's all I got.
It was the most gratifying thing, Austin, to me in our group message, seeing green go to blue.
Isn't it amazing?
It's one of the most satisfying things. I might even throw in a little bit of pool there. We might play some pool this upcoming week together. And
how do you do that, bro?
We got to play Uno.
You got to bring me along like a newborn baby. I am new to the world.
Well, we'll work on it.
It took me about 45 minutes to download Twitter. So.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I know and I did throw some shade at Android users. We might have quite a bit of listeners that do have Android, so please don't unsubscribe. That would suck a lot. At least stay for the DeMarcus Walker interview. I think you'll like that part. But yeah, Dustin is officially iPhone gang. I think you're just the last one in Nole Game Day's staff to. You think you were the last one to have an Android? So, whew.
So that means we can move off crew now, right?
Pretty much, but I still would like to see my text be read by Dustin and him still ignore me, but that's why I have Crew, because I know he's read my messages. Crew's an app that we use as a staff to check and see if someone's actually reading your messages or not, and so that's what we use. We don't use iPhone group messages, whatever you want to call it now. But I'm glad. Welcome, Dustin. Welcome to the real world. You just need to study how to switch from app to app. I know it's going to take a while, but you'll get it down.
Yeah, I've got some work to do, boys.
Speaking of, well, not really work to do. I don't know when it's going to happen, but as first reported by 247 Sports, running back Anthony Grant is going to be leaving the program at Florida State. We did not get to see him on the field this last season. There was a lot of rumors here and there and whatnot, but that can be talked about in a later time. But we didn't see him last year. But we saw a little bit of flashes, quite a bit in special teams during his freshman year when he first arrived. But, that kind of takes away from your running back depth. But do you think this is kind of a big deal, or, are you kind of disappointed? Because on my side of things, I'm kind of disappointed because I actually think that Anthony Grant has quite a bit of talent.
I think it's a great thing because it means Norvell's finally starting to. Or we've already seen it, but he's cutting off the dead weight, and as long as we keep cutting it off, it's fine with me. Make that roster spot worthy.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Grant, he wasn't even with the team last year when Florida State had basically no running backs, and now you've upgraded the running back room significantly this offseason with Deshaun Corbin, Ja'Kai Douglas, Corey Wren, guys like that. So, I mean, I think I even said it earlier this offseason whenever we were finishing up the 2020 recruiting class. I was like, Anthony Grant's probably not going to be on this roster by August.
Yeah, nope,
like
Dustin,
correct.
Don't come after me with my screw-ups in the way I was talking earlier. There you go, August. My birthday's August 17th. Now you're quiet and Austin's not going to support me on that?
Nope.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, one of you are doing the intro next week. But yeah, no, I personally, I hope the best for him. I think there was just a little bit of things off the field that he had to work on. A lot of people thought that he was kind of out of shape at the beginning of spring. And kind of like what Austin said, I do think it's maybe a good thing as a program to kind of cut off the bad weight that might be holding the team down from moving along. I think Anthony Grant has a good amount of talent. We actually had Jack West Patrick on here talk to us a couple weeks ago, telling us that he thinks that Anthony Grant has some potential. He could be a starting running back in a lot of other teams, definitely in the ACC. And I agree. I think you see kind of flashes of it, but we didn't get to see him last season. Right now, Mike Norvell and staff have done a really good job of building depth there at the running back position. And now that you think of it, like Dustin just named out, I mean, shoot, there's a lot of weapons there that Florida State and Mike Norvell and Kenny Dillingham can use this upcoming season. So is it a major hit? No, but I think it's more of like, you got a guy with some talent, just didn't work out, and he's got to figure out things on his own.
Yeah, Anthony Grant finished his career at Florida State with an impressive 5 carries for 0 yards.
Well, now that you just said that makes my whole thing just go to crap.
Yeah, that's why I was waiting.
Yeah, you did that. I know you had that stage because I've talked about Anthony Grant a lot the last couple seasons, but
yeah, not a fan.
But yeah, so Anthony Grant is no longer with the program at Florida State. We'll keep an eye on him and see where he plans to end up. But hopefully, I wish him best of luck wherever he goes. This is an interesting one here. Nick O'Leary is said it was reported that he was retiring from the NFL, but just a little bit ago, Dustin might have some more info on it. It seems like that's not the plan for Nick O'Leary. He actually is planning to return to football in 2021 after having a heart issue, and I believe he had surgery this week or over the weekend.
Trying to find the date. It said it a second ago.
Yeah.
I think it was May something. May 19th.
Yeah, it says that O'Leary had an angioplasty on May 19th to reduce a 100% blockage of an artery. So it looks like he had an artery issue that has been resolved. Doctor said there's no damage to his heart and that he should be able to return back to football next year. The reason he can't play this year is because he's got to be on blood thinners for at least the next 6 months. And football's as you guys know, football's a very physical sport. So if he was to get like a cut or something like that, they might not be able to stop the bleeding because he's on the blood thinners. Kind of the same thing with Chris Bosh, even though, his issue was completely different, but he had to stop playing because he was going to have to be on blood thinners for the rest of his life. So we'll just have to see with O'Leary. It looks like he got lucky and was able to dodge a pretty serious issue. I know my girlfriend's dad had a 100% blockage of an artery and had to have major heart surgery. So luckily for O'Leary, they were able to catch it, and he should be able to continue his career next season.
That's great news, and he's obviously with the Raiders right now. He was just, I believe, before that with the Jacksonville Jaguars?
With the Dolphins.
Was it the Jaguars before that? I know he was with the Jaguars at some point.
I think he was with the Jaguars and then the Dolphins.
I don't think he was ever with the Jags.
Oh, he's with Buffalo.
I know he was with the Bills.
I think
he was with the Bills and then the Dolphins.
Because I know he's got pictures of him in Jaguars, so I don't know if he was just there for a little bit, for a stint.
You're right. It says he played 3 years in Buffalo, played 19 games with the Dolphins in 2018 and 19, and then finished the season last year with the Jags. And then now he's with Las Vegas.
I just do my homework around here at Hear the Sphere. Let's see.
Austin can't relate.
Oh, jeez. Golly. So, yeah, good. That's good news. Obviously, I think a lot of fans were kind of shocked to hear this because he's kind of still early in his career, and he's had flashes a little bit in the NFL.
Yeah. I didn't know if you guys knew this, but Nick O'Leary, actually the grandson of Jack Nicklaus.
Is he really now? Is he?
Yeah.
Isn't he grandpa a golfer or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think he actually designed the FSU golf course, too, now that I'm thinking about it.
Wow. Whoa. Jesus, you're just laying bombs here on Hear the Spear. Jesus. Golly. We're going to get our ratings up now. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff, Dustin, for telling us. I never knew that.
I do my homework, too, bud.
Wow. You want to talk about how long it took for you to graduate?
Well, I didn't do that homework.
That was pretty good, Austin. Come on, that was dirty. Let's move on here to a big one, which was happened, what is this, Monday? President Thrasher put out a statement on Twitter, and there has been a lot of talk about the Doak Campbell Stadium and the names that goes with Doak, and there might be a potential change to it. This is the statement from President Thrasher saying, "I have been following with great interest the petition circulating on social media asserting that Doak S. Campbell, FSU's president in 1947 during its transition from the Florida State College for Women, resisted integration and asking that the stadium no longer bear his name. I have asked Athletics Director David Coburn to immediately review the issue and make recommendations to me. I look forward to receiving his report soon." So, guys, what are y'all's thoughts on this and possibly, Doak Campbell Stadium, something that we grew up knowing what to call, when we were going to games. I'm heading to Doak, see you at Doak, blah, blah, blah. What are y'all's thoughts on this situation? And there could be a good possibility that Doak S. Campbell Stadium will be renamed to something different.
I think it's something that's needed to happen. Obviously, being able to say I'm going to Doak is easy, rolls off the tongue, but the person who was named after was so against integration and was just such not a great dude. It does need to be changed. I'd be perfectly fine with the school selling out and selling it to the highest bidder, whether it's Publix, Whataburger, Spanx, I don't care. This school needs money. Go chase that bag.
Yeah, I personally didn't realize the history of the person, Doak Campbell. I mean, to me, Doak Campbell is Florida State Stadium, but obviously it was also a person who was significant in Florida State's history. And yeah, like you said, Austin, I agree that even though, we're used to saying Doak and going to Doak, all this stuff, I think that the name should be changed, whether that's to honor another figure in Florida State history like Bobby Bowden, or like you said, give it to the highest bidder and make some money for the school. So whatever works, but yeah, the name is definitely going to need to be changed.
I mean, even if they change it to Publix, you could just have them going to the pub. I mean, just saying.
Well, if they're all right, here's the deal. So my situation, if they have Publix there, then I'm gonna have to go buy a pub sub before I go to the games, and it's gonna be right there in front of me. So if they do
it anyways,
I do sometimes for tailgates. Yes, Austin. Sometimes I do. But yeah, if they do that, then I'd be full send on that. Anybody else got any suggestions for name changes?
I saw one on Twitter that really got me. It was Bobby Bowden Field at Guthrie Stadium, and the coach's box is called the Gut Box.
Does Guthrie's have the money?
Hometown discount?
Maybe. Mine would probably. No, I kind of like the. Maybe Walt Bell Stadium at Willie Taggart Field. I don't know.
Legendary.
I think that really does shockwaves across the country, and definitely here in Tallahassee, I feel like a lot of fans would really be supportive of that. You could kind of mix up, you can either, I'll be honest, I'll be fair. You can mix it up with either Walt Bell or Kendall Browse. It's whichever one you want to pick. There's been a lot of
sideline sponsored by Percocet.
Am I the only one that got that joke?
Yeah, apparently.
We have to update Austin on a few things, I guess.
I also wasn't listening.
Amazon
I told
Stadium?
Dustin earlier before the podcast, I stopped listening to him a while ago.
Well, that is true. Dustin did have a good one there, so I have to give him credit for that. But what about Amazon Stadium? Obviously, DeMarcus Walker, you're going to listen to this interview in a few minutes, but DeMarcus Walker has a big thing for Mr. Robotos, and it did pretty good for him in his last 2 years at FSU, so maybe Mr. Robotos.
All right, well, if Guthrie's doesn't have the money, Mr. Robotos definitely don't have the money, man, because I went to the one when they were remodeling it on Pensacola Street, and they used to cook the rice, outside under a tent. So they ain't ponying up for no stadium anytime soon.
Does good food have to be under a ceiling, Dustin?
No, but they didn't have the space in the kitchen to be able to cook rice inside. That's my issue.
Because they were renovating.
Yeah.
You know that food, back in the day, and even now, some of the best food comes from out in tents, and it's grilled, or they're smoking a brisket or something like that, and it's out in a tent, not under a ceiling. Did you know that? One of your favorite spots, Sonny's.
It was really just a tarp covering buckets of rice. So, it wasn't as official as you're picturing it.
Did you still end up eating it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I dabbled.
Dabbled. Yeah, right. Stop it. Okay, so that went to a different turn there. But yeah, the Doak Campbell name change, there's probably a really good possibility this is going to happen. I do think that people are going to continue to always call it Doak no matter what. I don't think it's to kind of, relish on the president that was here and what he did. But, I think that's just something that's going to go through as a language to anybody that's kind of talking lingo out and saying, if you're tailgating now, I'm heading into Doak, blah, 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 blah. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. I'm sure we'll hear something before Friday coming from Florida State's program. It's a big deal. Dustin, recruiting. There's maybe a recruit on the horizon here of committing to Florida State. What's going on?
Yeah, real quick before we hop in DeMarcus Walker interview, just go over recruiting real quick. We're expecting a commitment to come in for Florida State at some point on Tuesday afternoon. Can't give the name away. The player has asked that we keep their moment for them to announce, and we never want to spoil that for a guy. But I'll just say an offensive skill position player will be joining Tribe 21 on Tuesday, so today. And then also, real quick, Florida State is still evaluating offensive linemen for Tribe 21 and figuring out who they're going to take there. One guy that is starting to emerge is 2021 offensive tackle Kimo Makaniole. He's a Samoan guy out of Florida, and our recruiting guy Nate Greer believes that if Florida State offers him, he will likely be a Seminole. Like I said, guy from Florida, really close to family, and being at Florida State would allow him to stay close to his family instead of having to leave the state. So we'll see what happens there.
Well, I say we go ahead and jump into the DeMarcus Walker interview. Once again, we want to thank him for coming on. We have 30 minutes with him, and he talks about Jimbo Fisher, Willie Taggart, Mike Norvell, along with his big game against Ole Miss, where he was a monster. We also talk about Kobe Bryant, and whenever he tweeted at DeMarcus after his big game, and we know DeMarcus was big on his mama mode, and it's just a great interview. So I guess I want to throw you guys to it right now. Enjoy it, and we will talk to you guys afterwards.
Rasley ran on late, so they gave the Noles a chance to substitute. They didn't, and Kelly is chased, lost the ball. It's out, still being fought for. Florida State's got it.
And who makes the play? The leader, DeMarcus Walker, comes from the offense's left all the way around to not give up on his play. Tremendous effort right here. Watch him with an inside move, a little move to the outside. He goes right by him, and he's such a good athlete.
What a throw by Kaya on fourth down. It's blocked. It's no good. The Noles block the PAT, and Badgley's streak ends at 72 in a row. Is that DeMarcus Walker?
Yep.
Made the block. There's a couple of flags down.
Little bit maybe affects the rhythm there, but no question. And it's DeMarcus Walker gets his hand on it and knocks that ball away. How about the leader, Walker, making plays down the stretch? Penetrates right there, puts the hand up and knocks that away. Unbelievable. And just when it looked like Miami, with the throw there on fourth down, was going to tie this football game.
All right, guys, we got the big interview. I'm really excited about this one personally. I've been wanting to talk with DeMarcus and bring him on Hear the Spirit for a couple of years now, and it actually worked out. And he's here with us this evening. Former Nole defensive end, also now with the Denver Broncos. DeMarcus Walker is here with us on Hear the Spirit. What's going on, man?
How you guys doing today, man? Good evening.
Good evening. So this is obviously a crazy time right now, and I know training is a little bit different for some guys, but I just kind of want to get your thoughts right now with COVID-19, and it feels like we're going on a roller coaster ride where things are looking better one week, and the next week we're hearing worse news about sports in general, but football. How's it going for you personally, training-wise, and where are you at, and how are you looking?
Personally, for me, this has been a great offseason. I've been able to just maximize the opportunity of more training and recovery and get my body back healthy for the season that's coming up. It's kind of unfortunate. I like to do certain things during the off season, but it's okay.
DeMarcus, what has the NFL told you about the preparations for the 2020 season?
So far, they said there were 3 dates. They said July 23rd, July 27th, or July 28th. But the only way it would be July 23rd if the PA and the NFL were able to come to agreement on how to, take precaution, with entering the facility, and they weren't able to come up with a with the agreement. So it looks like July 28th, in my opinion.
You just wrapped up your first season under Vic Fangio. How was that compared to your previous NFL coaching staffs?
It was a big difference, but the big difference started with me. Just working hard, just getting back to the basics of what got me here. And it was definitely, a crazy year. I had my great moments and I had, my low moments, but, it's whatever, man. Just on to the next year, improve and get better.
What's real quick, DeMarcus? What has been like the big difference for you, like moving from Florida here, and you had a strong career at Florida State, and you move over to Denver to a different place, far away from Florida here in the country? Did that play a toll on you in a little bit? Different kind of weather too that you're used to being around since you were young.
I would say here's where I went wrong at, and I took it on as an immature way. See, I lived in Florida for 22 years of my life, and when I moved to Denver, I didn't know anything. Like, I was homesick. Instead of embracing the change and being uncomfortable, I sat in my ways, trying to get, comfortable or whatever. And I wouldn't say, like, it was a big difference. The air, basically, was a lot drier, a lot more water, a lot more lotion. But, it was a great, change. And once I finally embraced it, things started going my way.
You were committed to Alabama before making the decision to sign with Florida State. What went into that decision to flip to the Seminoles?
Jeremy Pruitt. Simple and plain. Jeremy Pruitt.
Well, we hear that a lot because we've interviewed a lot of guys from your class and even a lot earlier too. But a lot of these players have told us they had some really strong ties and connections and really believed in Jeremy Pruitt. They thought that he could be a head coach somewhere. Is that something you also thought of too? Because we hear so much good about him.
I was pushing for Pruitt to be the next head coach at Florida State when he called me and told me and finalized this. Pruitt has very strong connections. I don't know who, but when I really believed Jimbo was leaving is when Pruitt called me. And he wanted to be the next head coach. And if people don't understand, like, he really, he put everybody's job on the line that 13 year. He made everybody uncomfortable, and we're happy. We won the national championship. I even hit Stan Wilcox's wife up that week when I found out right after I talked to Pruitt to just give Pruitt an interview. Just give me an interview. And they say Stan was set in his ways, and that really bit Florida State, because look at Tennessee now. I understand they went 7-6, won a bowl game, but come on, like, everybody knows the reputation of Tennessee. That's actually big, So, but I like Coach Norvell, and I hope he, can change things around and get Florida State back rocking.
Going back to your even high school days, I'm a Jacksonville guy. I actually grew up in the region of your high school. How did Sandalwood and playing high school ball in Jacksonville prepare you for playing in the ACC?
It was great. The state of Florida in general, prepared me for football for Florida State and in the NFL. Just always been around quick guys and guys who can run. It was definitely a blessing and definitely helped me, paved the way, and molded me into the player I am today.
A couple weeks ago, DeMarcus, we had Jack West Patrick on here, and we always ask a player, it's a new segment we're doing, but we want to know what your favorite place is to eat in Tallahassee. Jack West said it's Chubby's, but I think a lot of people say different things. We had Trent Forrest on, and he said a few other places. Where is your favorite place to eat in Tallahassee?
My favorite place to eat in Tallahassee, Florida.
And I feel like defensive ends and defensive tackles eat just a little bit more, but that just might be my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely something that had a lot of calories. It would be very unfair to say, one thing or another. I would tell you my first 2 years of Florida State, what saved me was California Chicken Grill. And my last 2 years at Florida State, what saved me was Mr. Roboto's. Those two. It was my favorite.
Roboto's, nice.
Two solid spots.
Yeah.
Okay, so those last 2 years you had at Florida State were, they're not too bad. So maybe Robotos needs a little bit of credit there.
I know, right? I know, right? I know.
And
yeah.
And speaking on that, yeah, that first season on campus, you win the national championship. How did that set the standard for the rest of your career?
It was really cool. I learned a lot of different things, from Taylor Smith to his leadership, to even Jalen Ramsey, just somebody who worked hard and just, opportunity met preparation and just coming in and just hit the ground running. And a lot of from every single body I learned on that team, it helped me into the man I am today. Like I say, when Pruitt came in, man, Jimbo brought in a squad. He brought in a squad, and everybody competed. It was competition. Guys calling each other out, and everybody just making each other better.
When that national championship was going on, just throughout that week, whenever y'all traveled over to California, who was the biggest leader that was kind of keeping you guys on pace, maybe talking during practice and then, in the locker room, the beginning of the game? Like, who was your biggest, leaders before that natty?
I wouldn't say like that week, that whole year, it was the same leaders. It was Taylor Smith, LaMarcus Joyner, Brian Stewart, Kenny Shaw. You had, that senior class, they led the whole entire year. That's why we were so consistent the whole entire year, because no one went out during the week. No one played around during stretch and stride. It was always, that team was just together. So that class did a great job leading the whole entire year, just not for the week of the national championship.
And yeah, moving into 2016, the season opener against Ole Miss, Florida State didn't start off as a very, pretty game. You guys were down 28-6 in the second quarter, but rallied to win 45-34 with a lot of work in the second half. You actually had 4.5 sacks in that second half. What helped spark the comeback against the Rebels?
What helped spark the comeback against the Rebels? I would say just, offense started putting up some points. Team just rallied around. And I just, I stopped thinking. I just let it happen. Everything that I worked for, it was just smooth. To be honest with you, that second half of that game, I couldn't even tell you. I was black. I blacked out.
It seemed like you're in the zone, man.
Yeah, you're on a different level. There was something going on.
Yeah, I can't even tell you. That first half, I can tell you. Everything that was going through my mind. That second half, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't.
I want to talk about, after the game, too, in that week, you were obviously starting the Mamba mode kind of thing, and it was all over social media, and you had the snake emoji on Twitter. But FSU football tweeted out a graphic and telling a quote of what you said. You said you were in Mamba mode, and then obviously, Kobe Bryant passed this year. But how awesome was it to get, some recognition from obviously an absolute legend, not in just basketball, but sports alone across the world?
That was a crazy moment, and when he passed away, a few people, I won't say a lot, a few people hit me up and reached out to me and told me about that moment also, even with my mom. So it was crazy. And, people like him, you feel like, he'll be around for eternity, and to, just to go that way, it was definitely, definitely hard. And our performance this year definitely goes out to him. But what the whole Mamba mode came from, Jimbo was a motivational speech type of guy. He used to love bringing these, these speakers in, Dr. Elko, all different type of people. And he used to love showing videos. So he showed this video of the 2017 finals, the Cavaliers versus the Warriors, and Kyrie Irving hit the game-winning shot. And they in post-game interview, they asked him, like, what was your mindset in that moment? and he just had Mamba mentality. And that was my mindset going into the off season, and that's really my mindset now, to be honest with you. But that's for after the season. But when you guys asked me that, post game, that was my mom. It was my mentality. I blacked out, and I didn't care who was in front of me or what was the score, what was the time. I wasn't losing, and that was in the time I had that moment again was Miami game and Florida game.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about the Miami game and the block at the Rock. Going into that extra point, what did you see beforehand, and then afterwards, what was going through your head, and what was the locker room like?
We was never scared, to be honest with you. I wasn't. I wasn't scared. I knew we wasn't losing that week when Freddie Stevenson texted me that week and said, "Hey, I know this year haven't been going our way, but I'll be damned if we lose to Miami." And I agree with him. And we came in ready. What set up the block was they went for a field goal right before the half, and I jumped too early, and I could have blocked it. And when they scored the touchdown, I'll be honest with you, like this going to be like, oh, this is so cocky or too good to be true or cliche. No, this is absolutely God's honest truth. When they scored, I did not panic. When they scored, I said, excuse my words, I said, I'm not losing to these fuckers. So I get back to the huddle, Coach Odell Higgins, and you can go to him and ask him. It was block left or block right. He said block left. I looked to the sign, and they grade you after the game. And you get, they grade you for sacks, tackles, lows, whatever. But there's a column that says intelligent play. And I got an intelligent play after this game because Coach Odell said block left. And I looked to the sideline and said, no. I changed the call in the huddle. I said block right. He said, all right. Came through, blocked it. Game over.
So you didn't like Miami? Tell me real quick.
I didn't like Florida. I can respect Miami. Miami was just their fan. I didn't like their fan base. The players, I didn't care. But that moment was so bittersweet because that moment, like my mindset and everything and what happened with me and Coach Odell and everything, like that was exact point. I changed the play in the huddle and won the game.
Yep.
That's balls.
Yeah. Exactly. Wait. So I just want to know who talks the most trash, or because we've had on Freddie before, James Wilder Jr., Carlos Williams. They all have their ideas of who they hate the most, either Florida or Miami. I think it's just a personal thing, maybe from players that they grew up with in high school, go to the rival or whatever. But what's the nastier game, Florida or Miami to you?
Florida was more because of how they handled my recruiting. I actually didn't like Florida State neither. I didn't want to go to Florida State, but thank God for Jimmy Pruitt. In my opinion, he better thank God. Like they better thank God for Jimmy Pruitt because they wouldn't have got Jalen Ramsey, they wouldn't have got Matthew Thomas, they wouldn't have got me, and they wouldn't have got Nate Andrews. He brought those 4 guys in, and those 4 guys affected the Florida State program in a way and build the program to where it's at today. But Florida was more disrespectful. I just had, I used to talk my trash on Twitter, and I couldn't wait to play him. I couldn't, and Jimbo used to get with me every week. We used to play him my last 2 years because I used to make bulletin board material, in the interviews and on Twitter. And literally my senior year, I really wanted to just say, listen, we're about to beat the brakes off these guys. Literally, I wanted to say that, but I'm like, nah. But we wound up doing it. But yeah.
I love it. I want to ask real quick too. The 2016 season had a lot of stuff going on with it, and then y'all introduced. Y'all had the Showtime crew with A Season Wit that followed you throughout the practices and games and all that kind of jazz. What was that like, having a film crew behind you guys? Did you watch any of it? Was it pretty accurate on what was going on during the season, or were they hiding quite a bit of it?
Nah, it was pretty much, pretty accurate. It was pretty accurate.
Yeah. Did it bother y'all having film around you like that?
Like, it was just uncomfortable. Like, we got 18 to 22-year-old kids who we've done interviews, but like this is a whole different, situation. You got Showtime, a TV network, you know what I'm saying, follow you around, cars following you, mic you up every day. So, of course, we'll be a little like, off it, we're kids. So it was a little awkward.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Austin, you got one?
Yeah, as the 2016 season closed down, you were getting up there in the sack records, both single season and all time. How aware of the records were you, and were you chasing them at all, or were you more worried about the wins?
I was worried about the wins. To be honest with you, I don't take anything back because at the end of the day, I know that I'm a legend and I got my name carved in the ground there. I do. The only thing I'm like, and I don't mean harm because I actually talked to him today. I'm thankful for I'm thankful for Coach Sal. My first 2 years, but I just, if I had Brad Lowen, imagine, come on, guys, think about this. 2 years, Brad Lowen, I had 26.5 sacks. Imagine if I had Brad Lowen, all 4 years.
Yeah,
40.
In 2 years, just off the bat, I had 2 sacks in 2 years. When a coach came in and just carved me and molded me, I had 26.5 sacks. And I love Peter Bower, I love Renard Wilson. But what's more impressive, though? Come on now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like it. You've always had
not only that. Hold on. And not only that, come on now. In a shotgun system where you got the read zone where you can't just run up the field, there's no more 7-step drops, sitting in the pocket quarterbacks. I got Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Mitchell Trubisky. I had 16 sacks in this type of, generation with these type of quarterbacks. That's more impressive. Well, I love those guys. I'm just talking some crap. Don't get nothing started between the two. I'm just talking crap.
I like that kind of energy. I like that. It's you're a competitor. I mean, sometimes you just can't help yourself.
I kind of want to get something started because I got a question for you about Lamar Jackson.
Don't do that.
Dustin's got something good for you. No, this is a good one.
It's not that bad.
It might hit a turn here in a second.
Okay.
But yeah, just staying on 2016. Number 2 Florida State went into number 10 Louisville and lost 63-20 behind one of the signature games of Lamar Jackson's college career. What kind of led to that blowout, and what was the reaction like in the locker room afterwards?
You gotta ask what. It's point blank. You gotta ask what. There have been other people I can explain why, but to the media, to the public, be just simple and plain.
Yeah.
You gotta ask.
What do you think the difference was between that game and Ole Miss, where y'all were able to rally and come back to win despite being down by a lot?
Listen, I don't want to use no excuse. I don't want to use that excuse. We got to ass kick. Florida State got the ass kick.
We talked, that was 2014, but I believe, was it Carlos we had on the podcast, guy? There's someone on the defensive side where when y'all faced Oregon and then that happened. And
it was Reggie Northrup.
Yeah, Reggie Northrup had a few things to say about the Oregon game and what went wrong, and there was some coaching things that he kind of let out loose that, he was just telling his thoughts. But what about the Oregon game? What do you think? They're just disconnect in some ways?
Yeah, it was actually pretty much the same thing. I just feel like guys just wasn't focused. I feel like Louisville, we were focused. We just got, they came ready. We didn't. But Oregon, we weren't focused. Staying in downtown LA did not help the team. That's the only thing I can say is where I saw. Just being in downtown LA definitely hurt the team.
Did you see any change in Jimbo from the national championship season to your last season? Like maybe as a coach or just the way he acted around the team?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. He's always been the same Jimbo, you know.
I've been I guess you could say lucky enough to be around him at practices, but also behind the scenes and in the more. And I got to see a few interactions with him and Jameis during 2013. And, you know, I think a lot of people think, you know, you're Jameis Winston, you're the hottest player in college football right now, and, you know, the coaches are going to be sweet and all this kind of stuff to you. That was not the case. I heard Jimbo rip into him quite a few times, and a few nice words he said to him, and that's just how it went. Jimbo Fisher is a different kind of coach, and that's why I want to get your thoughts on Taggart. I think Dustin's got a question too on him.
Yeah, like you said earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, Jimbo been on. He always came at everybody, and you know, at the end, like at the time, you hate him. You know, you'll say, man, I can't stand this guy, but you know, as I look back, you know, you got to thank him for it, and he wanted the best out of us. So, you know, Jimbo Fisher will always, you know, be one of the goats in my book.
And yeah, like you said earlier, after Jimbo moved on to Texas A&M, you pushed for Pruitt to be the next head coach at Florida State, and you were also pretty outspoken on how Florida State performed under Willie Taggart during his tenure at FSU. What do you think went wrong under Willie Taggart?
Taggart, where he went wrong.
There's a list, I know.
Yeah.
We've had multiple guys in here. I just don't want you to feel like you are like need to be held back. We've had multiple guys on here. Freddie Stevenson, Jacoby McDaniels came in here, and we've had to you know, kind of slow it down.
Here's my and this is where I'm not criticizing him. This is just a life lesson that, you know, I just hope we learn from, and I learned this lesson also. You know, I remember my rookie year when I came in, and I had 10 sacks off my inside move my senior year. And when I came in, I started doing other moves. And Von Miller was like, dude, like, I watched your film. Like, you know, don't change anything up. Like, what got you here? I was like, my inside move. He was like, so why switch it? Just keep patting it up. And, you know, and I didn't listen. I should have, you know. So where I'm referring to as in Jimbo had a winning culture, you know. Every year, you know, we was ranked and we had to talk until like, all right, this team, you know, is talented enough to you know, give any team hell and win. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when he came in, you know, he just like, nah, it's my way. Instead of just like, okay, well, what did Jimbo do to, you know, be successful? You know, adapt some of his ways, but I feel like, you know, he just, you know, had too much pride to where he wanted everything out, which I can, you know, he had trust issues, which I can understand coming into a system that, you know, it was ran by Jimbo since Bobby left. But that's what I feel like he could have did better as just, you know, as a man, sit your pride to the side and see what did this guy do that was successful, and, you know, adapt.
Mm-hmm. Since you are around those leaders, and this is something I've asked a lot of guys that have come on here and talked with us, as the last couple of years at Florida State, I feel like personally, just in my case, the discipline factor has fallen off a lot. You're seeing guys blame one another for things that are obviously their fault, and then there's obviously silly penalties that end up causing Willie Taggart and his staff a loss and the team. But do you think there's a lot of discipline? There has been some discipline problems in Tallahassee that might, you know, have caused some of these losses to happen?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and I wasn't there enough to, like, you know, I got a few incidents of my own, but I'm not really, like, I'm not here for that. But, you know, Taggart, Sam Woodcock should have did, you know, just did a little more research. You know, he should have interviewed, you know, a few more people, but he was set in his ways.
Mm-hmm.
real quick, just any thoughts on Stan Wilcox hiring Willie Taggart and then moving over to work for the NCAA?
Trust me, we all know how that really happened. Like, we all know. Like, and I think I love for Stan. I love Stan's wife my senior year. She really, like, me and her grew together. She was my biggest fan.
Mm-hmm.
One time Georgia Newberry and I, we went to Florida State one summer. I actually have to go to Tallahassee next week. No, this week actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually have to go there this week, and I went by there to go work out, and there were from Monday through Friday there were no days off with Jimbo. Literally, like, hard because we're getting ready for the season. We train every single day. These guys had Wednesday off and an option for Friday. I said, what the hell? I said, like, this is not South Florida. Like, this is Florida State. This is a business. Like it was just, and that showed why guys were so tired. Boise State game.
Yeah.
Tired the first game of the season. Like they had an option on Wednesday. Like, it was an option on Wednesday to work out or run or do whatever. Like, no, that's not cool at all.
That's not how it worked for y'all, huh? Back in your time under Jimbo.
No, there were no days off with Jimbo. The only day you had off, and that was after scrimmage. And trust me, he got all out of you in that scrimmage.
And Vic too played a big part in your development too at your career at Florida State.
Every coach played a great part of my development. Every GA, even down to Bert Bafani, everybody, Addison Lynch, like, those guys, it takes a village to raise a child, and that was my village. And I'm very thankful for Brad Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. Looking ahead real quick, just a few more questions left. Looking ahead now into the 2020 season, obviously Mike Norvell is here. Seems like things are going pretty smoothly. The players, from what I've been told and we're seeing publicly shown, the players are really liking Coach Storms, which is a new strength and conditioning coach. I feel like we're kind of looking back at right when Vic Viloria got hired under Jimbo, and things were like really starting to pick up, and guys being developed in the weight room. But under Coach Storms, the players right now are really liking it. They're some guys needing to lose weight or losing weight, some that need to gain or gain it, and they're gaining it pretty quickly. But what do you think the whole situation for them not having a spring is going to play a toll on them? You got a new coach coming in, you've got a new team, obviously, but how big do you think it would be for you if you didn't have spring ball? How much does that play into a season that you're about to head into?
To be honest with you, like, we don't know. Like, I tell you, as a player, though, this is the most my body had a break from getting hit, in a long time. I'm just thankful for that. Because, I really overworked myself last all season. Like, I was training 3 times a day, 4 days a week for like 5 months. And by the time November got here, I was tired and banged up. That's why I had so many injuries in the second half of the season. To where, like, my body, like, with this coronavirus, I took an advantage of this moment. I lifted a lot of weights, worked out, to where I'm 300 pounds wearing a size 38 pants, I'm wearing the same size pants I was wearing when I was 240 my rookie year. So I've been working my ass off, man.
That's good to hear.
And I don't know how connected you still are with the program, but what are your early thoughts on the new coach, Mike Norvell?
I haven't talked to him. I get there Wednesday night. I put myself. But I'll go. Hopefully, if he's in office Thursday, I'll go check him out. I'll go meet him.
Heck yeah. And I have one last question here, and I don't know how well you're still kept up with a few players on the team now, but is there anybody that maybe in your position group that you would think that might have a chance to step up and put in some work for Florida State this upcoming season? There's some guys returning that were banged up, like Joshua Kando. Janarius Robinson is returning. I swear Janarius has been at Florida State for about 8 years now. He might be able to stay again. But is there any guys that you think, even offensively too, that you think should, it's time to step up, it's time to get going, and you've made it to the NFL? Is there any guys that you think that you might also have a future FSU guy with you in the NFL that is going to impress this year?
Man, to be honest with you, I hope everyone does well. I hope everybody has the type of season they want to have, make the type of money they want to have. I definitely pray that everybody, receives that. From what I see, and it's because I'm around the guy. I'll say be careful with Trey Marshall, man. Our staff really liked him. They didn't draft any safeties this year. He played every game, started 2 games last year. Really didn't second guess putting him in when somebody went down. So just watch him. He's a sleeper. They love him. They love Trey. Like, they love Trey. Because, he's a DB who can not only run, but Fangio care about tackling. A lot of DBs don't like to tackle, and Trey likes to hit. You can coach, like, all right, he might not catch your pick, but you can coach that. I can get him on a drug machine for 2 hours. That can get fixed. But tackling, that's hard, so be careful for Trey Marshall.
And Trey Marshall had his little ring down whenever he was at Florida State. And I swear about every other game he'd be on the side. They'd kick him off the field for a half.
He got kicked out Trey got ejected every primetime game. We joke about that every year. He got every primetime game. Trey Marshall got ejected.
What did y'all say in the locker room about that?
No, he just he always admits it. We always joke around with it.
I love it. And last one, real quick. We did it last time with our last guy that we had on the podcast. You got to pick. This is a serious question, too. Probably the most serious one. Which one are you picking, DeMarcus? Sweet tea, lemonade, or an Arnold Palmer? And then this
lemonade.
Gets.
Oh,
let's go.
Lemonade.
The time.
Oh my gosh.
I got
lemonade.
I got
The thing is, I don't drink on the Palmer. Like, I just never had it. But lemonade, sweet tea, everyone cannot make sweet tea. I live in Colorado, and I love y'all, but the sweet tea there got to be, better. So the lemonade is something. If you mess up lemonade, even if it's tangy or sweet or unsweet, I can drink it. But unsweet tea, no. Like, who can drink unsweet tea?
Well, yeah, no way. Well, DeMarcus. We really appreciate you coming on here for 30 minutes. I'm glad we could set this up. I think the FSU fans are really going to enjoy it, maybe even the Denver Broncos fans that are up there or over there. And hopefully maybe in the future we can get you on to help preview a big Florida or Miami game. So we're going to really talk some trash and get into it. But we on our side of things, too, at Nole Game Day, we hope you have a healthy season, and we can't wait to watch you and pull for you.
Problem, man. If I ever come down to a game, we'll have a bye week, and there's a home game, I got to hit you guys up so we can tailgate. I've never been to a tailgate before.
Oh, well, we got to do it. We'll set something. I think we should. We'll even get Dustin out of his house to actually come out and tailgate for once and have a good time with us. But, yeah, most certainly, man. I really appreciate you taking your time out. I know it was 30 minutes, and I really appreciate it.
No, thank you guys. You guys have a great night. God bless.
All right, we're back after our DeMarcus Walker interview. Really enjoyed having him come on. Some good stuff is in there, and I was really excited to have him. I've wanted to actually bring him on for a couple of years now, but it actually worked out on both sides time-wise. And we wish him the best of luck this upcoming season, and we really hope we see some football up there in Denver being played with all this COVID-19 thing happening. You guys ready to run into this is the hottest segment right now, I think, for the podcast.
I'm ready to make some people mad, because I'm going to make people mad.
Yeah, no, I'm going to I just know I'm going to piss somebody off really badly, and I can't wait. But right now we're going to jump into our top 3 worst segment this week. The subject is the top 3 worst sports to watch, which I think is going to create a very good discussion. you at home can pick your own 3-2, or you can just sit here and be pissed off at one of us because I'm sure to pick off a few of you. Who wants to go first for this one? Anybody? Or should I? You know what? I'll go first. I want to start off first. My top 3 worst sports to watch. My number 1, just one of the 3. Regular season NBA.
Wow.
Bet you wish it was on right now.
Well, any kind of sport would be nice, but the regular season NBA, I don't give a damn. I wouldn't watch it. I don't even know if I'd watch a little bit earlier the playoffs. I don't know. It just doesn't interest me that much. I mean, it's just a lot of games, kind of like MLB. I mean, it's just a lot of games, and like, is it really going to change everything? I feel like everything changes at the end of like the last couple of weeks of regular season, blah, blah, blah. Like during football, like I'm fully interested into it. But like whenever I see Dustin blowing off our plans to record a podcast because he has to watch the Celtics play like in the middle of the season, and that's not really a game that really means anything, it's just so irritating.
It means something to me.
What does it mean to you?
Well, I mean, I actually have a team that I'm invested in, so I enjoy watching every game. But, you know, since you're a Warriors fan, I could see why you wanted to take this year off.
I mean, that is true. That is true. Thanks, Dustin. But yeah, that's mine. That's probably going to stir up some hatred. Please don't DM me. Who wants to go next? Top 3 words.
I'll continue to stir the pot. Baseball. You just mentioned it. There's so many games, but the sport moves just so slowly. Like, there's no time limit. It can go on for 4 or 5 hours, and the score is going to be 1-0. That's boring to me.
Yeah, I can agree a little bit on that. It's kind of like a sport to watch, to have in the background while you're doing all your chores, and you don't really watch maybe 5 minutes in total. It's just kind of like a screen that you look at when you're walking by doing things that you don't want to be doing, but you just want to have sports on in the background, you know.
I haven't watched a full baseball game since Torrey Honer retired, because that was my favorite player for the Twins way back in the day. And since he retired, I haven't watched a full baseball game.
Okay.
Not a Florida State College World Series game, anything.
You didn't watch the Chicago Cubs when they're
I watched the last inning. That's only because the guy I was watching the game with at the basketball training center was a Cubs fan.
Okay. That's understandable. I like that. All right, Dustin, you're up next. Dustin's been quiet. I feel like he.
So I don't even know if this qualifies as a sport, but my number 3 is NASCAR. Not just because you guys were watching NASCAR before we got on this podcast, but because whenever I watch NASCAR, I don't really get the point. I mean, they're just driving in circles, and then every now and then they're like pull in and change my tires. And every now and then, you know, you get a wreck that kills a couple people, which that's like my favorite part. But for like the majority of the time, I mean, they're just going in circles. Like I can get it, you know, if you're sitting there like a redneck and you're just like drunk and you know you just like hearing the noise. But normal people, how are you doing it?
As someone who used to be a huge NASCAR fan, I understand where he's coming from. I think the sport's gotten more boring now because there's not as many interesting rivalries. There's no Gordon Earnhardt. There's nothing like that. But like at the same time, like yeah, it's kind of a redneck sport because it's just cars going fast. Which that's how I became a fan. I like things that go fast. And, yeah.
I love how we're just ignoring the sound. That's what I mean.
Sorry to interrupt.
Dustin wanting people to die.
Yeah,
not wanting them to die, but that's the best part.
I just mean, like, if you play football, like, you're going to play against teams that have different offenses or different defenses. But what do you do different in NASCAR? Because, I mean, you're just going in circles. Like, what is your strategy?
They do have strategies as far as, like,
how much press the gas pedal harder or to brake or...
Tire pressure, air pressure, water pressure.
Almost 200 miles per hour, Dustin. You got to realize that. When is the last time you've gone 200 miles per hour?
That wasn't in a plane.
And you're not inch to inch with the car.
I gotta say, I'm always inch to inch, baby, but I don't know.
First of all, I think that's pretty rude of you, Dustin, because I think you come after me because you know I go to Daytona every year and I get hammered drunk. But you know that's the whole part of it. You go there to drink your natural ice, the shittiest beers you have, to have a good time with your boys. I think we're the only youngest ones there by far, by like 20 years. But it's just a fun trip to go watch cars be extremely loud. After like 10 laps, though, and you have your cooler of beer there, you don't even know that the cars are going by. You're just kind of wondering where to put the cans at that you're killing.
That's what I was gonna say. I went to one NASCAR race, and I would say about 40% of the people were probably passed out about a quarter of the way through the race.
I've got some bad stories from attending races. I got thrown up on at Talladega when I was like 12.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Talladega.
Yeah, Talladega's already in hot water because of what's going on with Bubba Wallace. But yeah, it's not a great place to be.
Yeah. Well, I will be there in a few months in August for the Daytona 400. I am excited for it. So screw you, Dustin. And Dustin, I'm always here for if you want to come with. I know you're not a big beer guy, but we can find something for you to do. So wait, we have to relay it back. So Dustin, what's your number 2? Do you have a 2 on there? Ready?
I have a 2. I had a couple toss-ups.
You had one in the producers meeting.
That's gonna be my number 1.
Oh, okay.
I'll just go with this one. I'll just go because I just don't understand. I don't understand the hype, but bowling, because I feel like every Sunday.
What hype?
Dude, listen.
Wait, there's hype out there?
Let me get to the thing, man. Every Sunday, whenever it's not football season, you always have on some bullshit bowling during Sunday afternoon. Whenever I'm flipping on ESPN, I'm like, what the hell is this? So eventually I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give it a chance. I watched the bowling. This dude, how many bowling pins are there that you have to knock down? There's 10 pins. Okay. This guy knocks down like 8 of the pins, and he turns around to the crowd, like pumps his fist, like jumps up. And I'm just like, dude, I don't get it.
It's
what's the hype?
It's something that I won't watch to just sit there and watch. Like, I actually don't really want to have it on my TV, even if I'm doing chores. Like, I'll have other sports on, but if it comes to like bowling, I just feel like I'm depressed. Like, this is it. I'm depressed. Like, I feel like that's probably might be my future if I don't graduate and everything falls apart. I have to go to bowling, and I fear myself of watching bowling because there are usually these older guys that probably weren't hot shots in high school. And
what are they wearing gloves for?
You have your fingers shaved?
Yeah, bullshit. I bowled before.
But you haven't bowled like them though. They're professionals. They're always like 4'8", aren't they?
I don't know.
They're like.
I know Chris Paul's a really good bowler, and he's 6 foot. So.
He knows a bowler's name. Austin knows a bowler's name.
No, Chris Paul, the basketball player.
Oh, I thought you said okay. I didn't hear Chris.
Yeah, Chris Paul.
Okay. Well, I know that. Dustin, I know you're trying to come at me thinking I didn't know what an NBA player's name was. F off. I know who Chris Paul is, dickhead.
Right.
Wait, am I up? No,
it's me.
Austin.
So awesome. I'm actually flip-flopping last minute. I was going to go fishing, but
what?
because
Can you just tell us what it is?
No, I said I was.
It's flip-flopping.
But because it's showed on ESPN, I feel like it qualifies poker. It's not a sport, but it's shown on ESPN, and I don't understand how people watch it. I don't. Why would you watch someone else play cards?
Well, I think there's a lot of older gambling people, but yeah, that's something that I wouldn't like sit there and really watch unless I, was end up losing my money and gambling it away. I don't know. That's something I don't know. I think it's a good pick though. I don't even know how to play poker, and I'm 22. Is that bad?
No, it's probably.
I don't even think the people that play poker know how to play poker.
Well, yeah.
Don't worry.
I mean, it's completely luck-based. The entire thing is luck-based.
Yeah.
There is no skill involved with poker, and you can't change my mind on it.
Yeah, no, probably
That's
not.
another thing that they only put on ESPN when it's like the dead of the off season.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else on. I think I watched it one time because like Paul Pierce competed in one of like the big Vegas like poker games or whatever, but he lost, so stop watching.
Yeah, no, that's something that I won't like. You never ever in a million years, no matter what, you'd rather watch Hallmark movies than think about putting on poker. So that's a good one. That's a good one, Austin. Do you call poker a sport?
No, I'm just saying because it's shown on ESPN, I feel like it qualifies.
No,
and we're saying sports that you watch.
It is. Yeah. No, I'm just saying. I'm just getting personal opinions. My second one is going to be. And it is a sport, running marathons, 2 hour long, watching people run for 2 hours.
They're coming out the woodworks for these.
I've got an even better one, dude. The watching like the 100-meter yard dash. Like the people are sitting there in the stands for like hours. And bam,
No. I mean, no 100 meters is so fast. It's the cross country ones.
I just mean they're sitting there in the stands like waiting for hours, and then bam, it's over.
Events going on throughout that night.
Yeah, it's not just the 100-meter track event.
Obviously, like the featured one that you were there for, but I guess you could. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say like if you're going to FSU games that you're hoping that that fourth quarter at the end there, that's why you're there for so long because it's going to be the best part. But if you were here during the Willie Taggart tenure, then that was already over in the second quarter. But yeah, marathon. I don't really want to watch it. I'm a big. I love the Olympics. I love watching it. Like I used to do track, and I love track hurdling and everything. I'm a big Usain Bolt guy. My personal email has Bolt at the end of it. But running the marathon, I don't give a damn what you're. I mean that's tough already. It kind of puts a tear on me, and it wears me out watching you run for that long. Like you're not human. Please get a drink of water and please get a burger. But I don't know. That's just something that I won't watch. Maybe like the last 5 minutes, but I feel like there's not a close race. It's maybe like one time out of a decade that you're 1 and 2.
And then at the end, like all the people are dead. Like they're all just lying on the ground.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's like a war has gone down or something.
That's what I mean. Like it's not very pleasing to watch because you're just like, man, they must feel like that sucks right now.
Yeah. They're like, why did I do this? Like
even the person that wins, as soon as they cross the finish line, they just fall down.
Yes.
Like football, you score a touchdown, people are like celebrating, they're all happy. These people, they win like this important race, and they're trying to survive.
They literally are. Ambulance is on the way.
Medics are like sprinting out there.
Yeah. And what?
Wrapping them in blankets and shit.
How much money do you get? What's a big one? All right, let's do the Boston Marathon. Boston Marathon winning money. Like, what do you get for coming in first? Okay, so from what I see here, nah, you're lying. This can't be right. First place gets only $25,000. That might be.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean,
because at this point,
here we go. All right, $150,000 for the first man and woman.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's not bad.
Second place gets $75,000, and third takes $40,000.
A lot of money.
That is a lot.
Dustin,
of money.
are you thinking about getting into it now?
I mean, I might be able to get third.
Might be able to get third? You mean third to last?
I mean, if I had like a couple weeks of training.
A couple weeks?
A couple weeks. I'm just telling you, my body adapts quickly to training. I'll be ready. I've got the heart of a champion.
Okay.
All right.
Anyways, right, I'm up. I gotta do my
back on the clock.
Yeah, I'm back on the clock. My number one. This is a tricky one. I'll probably have like some one on the side, a bonus one, but I've never had any interest in watching cricket. I've never had damn idea. I forget that it's even a sport when it comes up on Sports Center. I feel like the only time you have cricket happening is whenever someone gets hit in the balls with a ball. I never ever think about that I'm oh my God, cricket's on Friday night. I've got to stay home and I got to watch this. I'm looking at an image right now and I don't even know what they're doing. But I don't feel like
it.
It's a very baseball-like sport. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel it's not like an American thing. I don't even.
It's big in like India.
Yeah.
Is it?
And Europe. I
don't even know how to play it. But why would I want that on my TV screen when I could have NASCAR? Have a race going on Sunday. I just don't know how to follow cricket. I feel like ESPN just puts it up there to show, hey, we care about other sports outside of the United States. So here's a highlight of a cool play in cricket, and then we don't see about it for a year. So,
dude, that's the worst when they're showing like the Sports Center top 10 and you get like a cricket play.
I know, that's exactly what I'm saying.
You get like a cricket play at like number 3, and you're like, what did they even do?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'd rather watch like Usain Bolt, be the fastest human in the world, than watch a cricket play happen that looks like any MLB player could do. I don't know. Just never thought about watching it. What about you, Austin, since we're relaying back?
Yeah, it's for very similar reasons to baseball, soccer. And it's because it's so low scoring, and it's just back and forth for so long, and everyone's just on edge for that one goal that can break it. And I'm just like, why? I'm just watching people run for an hour and a half.
Not to mention, if my fingernail touches you, it's like you got shot by a 12 gauge.
People talk about LeBron flopping. You look at soccer players, they get touched and they get shot in the leg.
Well, welcome to the regular season of NBA, which was my number 1. But
actually, you're number 3, bud.
Well, my number 3. It's the same thing. I guess there's. You know what? Whatever.
I say mine in a tier.
Okay, you have your tiers. But yeah, soccer is something that, all right, during the World Cup, yes, I'll watch it. Let's go United States. Let's freaking go.
Yeah,
some of the girls are,
World Cup, and I'll watch FSC Women's Soccer just because they've had a very good team for 5-6 years now.
And that's the only reason Austin will watch is because they have a good team.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. That's why I watch softball now.
That is true. That's what happens whenever you have a good team rolling through. I'm just saying, I like watching the World Cup. It's fun. I have a few crushes on a few of them. The women's.
On the men?
Oh. I was about to say.
There's some pretty women's soccer players out there. I've had my... Never mind. Let's move on.
Where are we going here?
That was going somewhere that we didn't need to go. Number 3, Dustin, and I feel like I know what's about to happen.
I pretty much already spoiled it for you two, but this isn't really a sport I would say that you see on TV a lot. It is an Olympic sport, right?
It is. Yes, it is.
I believe, yeah. Fencing is an Olympic sport, but yeah, my number 1 worst sport to watch is fencing because I don't know. Just think about the evolution through times. In Rome, you had the Colosseum, just 2 dudes down there with weapons, or maybe more than 2 people, but just people down there with weapons, duking it out. Whoever lives is the winner. And I don't know. As we progress through history, we've gotten a little soft, man, because now you got these dudes fencing. They got on these white jacket armor things on their whole body. Some little soft sword that it's just bullshit. And then these like metal helmets that you can't even hit anyone in the face anyway. But these metal helmets that are just pretty much useless. I want to see these guys. I want all the body armor to come off. I want a real sword in people's hands. I want make this shit exciting. We're at the Olympics. We're trying to see who the best fencer in the world is. Put a sword in their hand and chop someone down. I'm just saying. Let's make it interesting. If the stakes were a little higher,
would you be the number 1 watcher? Would you subscribe to something like that?
Absolutely. They might have to put that one on pay-per-view because it's a little graphic for the kids at home, but it's worth the extra money.
Yeah, fencing is something that I will just kind of skip off of if that's the Olympic part of the day.
Dude, they poke you in the chest and the sword bends.
Yeah, it's not like some Game of Thrones things where like Arya's like, and the homeboy's bleeding out of his neck, gushing out with blood.
Maybe I've just been sensitized to violence by the media, but I want to see some swords just swinging, bro.
You know, I'm impressed. We went through this, and no one said golf. That's how you know we're white.
Golf's not that bad anymore. I used to hate it, but
I used to hate it too.
now I can deal with it.
Like, if they make it interesting, like the whole situation with the Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That was fun.
Yeah, Peyton Manning. Oh my God, I about said Willie Taggart. Jesus Christ, Tiger Woods, and then obviously Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson. Like that was I had that on my TV all day long, and I actually looked up for more than 5 minutes. Like I actually enjoyed watching it. If they can introduce that kind of thing to golf, then that would be more fun. But watching like pros go at it, like I'll watch Tiger Woods because I grew up knowing Tiger Woods was the best of all time, and watching him win the Masters, was it last year? What was incredible. So yeah,
I will say if you haven't been to a Ryder Cup event, that's a lot of fun. That's when they do United States versus Europe. I went in 2016 or 17 when it was in Minnesota, and it was honestly one of the best sporting events I've ever been to.
Ryder Cup, is that's soccer?
Golf.
My bad. I don't know where we're. I had no idea.
Yeah, I'll stick with the golf theme.
Okay.
It's a really entertaining event because the golf players aren't just zoned out, or they're not just zoned completely into the match. They're interacting with the crowd. They're jeering their opposing players. It's really a lot of fun to watch.
Dustin, would you watch it?
I don't know. Anything Austin likes, I'm a little bit skeptical of.
Yep.
That is true. What about, there was one, chess.
No, that doesn't count. Does it?
There's a sport.
Is it?
I've seen TV of it.
Man,
You've seen chess on TV?
How bored were you? What level of quarantine was this?
I didn't watch it. I've seen it on my screen, and I instantly get it off like a virus is hitting me. Like, oh my God, I have a virus on my TV. Get it off. Yeah. I don't know. I was just kind of throwing some bonuses in there. But yeah, that is our top 3 worst segment. Tweet us and tell us yours. We haven't had someone tweet us yet, but tweet us if you have one of your top 3, and maybe we can roast it on the next podcast. I think we got some basketball here to talk about. I feel like I don't know what this guy's name is. Austin probably knows it better than me since he's an expert on names, supposedly. So what's the basketball update we have here, Austin?
So the biggest update is after Oklahoma State got hit with their postseason ban, players were allowed to transfer, and they wouldn't be ineligible wherever they went. Forward/center Yor Ney has announced he was transferring, and as soon as it was announced it was transferring, someone with Rivals said to watch out for Florida State, and it makes a ton of sense. He's a very Florida State-like player, very athletic, great shot blocker, stands 6'10", 235, so he's just like Malik. He averaged 2.7 blocks a game his freshman season. For his career, he's averaging 2.3. He's averaging over 4 blocks per 40 minutes, which is an absurd number. It would make a lot of sense. We've been chasing Moussa Cisse for what feels like years now, after he's delayed his recruitment. And this is a very Cisse-like player. Again, athletic, great rim roller. He's not going to spread the floor as much. Fun fact, he only has 8 fingers. He's missing his pointer and middle finger.
What?
Yeah. I believe it's his left hand. No, it's his right hand because he's lefty. Yeah, he only has 8 fingers. I don't know. I haven't gotten the full story on that.
Well, that's not a very fun fact. Why did you say fun fact before that?
I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting fact. How about that? Interesting fact. He has 8 fingers.
That a little bit better, huh?
Yeah, But there were some people in our Discord that were concerned that how is he going to be a great lob catcher if he only has 8 fingers? And I'm like, well, I assume at this point in his career he knows how to catch a pass.
Wait. What was the great fact? Hold up.
He has 8 fingers.
Man only has 8 fingers.
It's a phenomenal fact.
Dude, it says a blender incident as a toddler cost Ane the index and middle fingers on his right hand. Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah. I'm glad I didn't look it up then.
Oh,
hold up now.
I'm like flexing my hand right now. Oh,
yeah. as I'm scrolling
a blender
his statistical
incident.
page.
Oh man. Now.
Either
Way
way,
to get your protein shake.
Yeah, going back.
Okay.
Going back to stuff people want to hear. He averaged 8 points per game and 5 rebounds per game last year in just 20 minutes. So he's used to playing limited minutes. He's honestly a perfect Florida State player. He's been mentioned multiple times as a fit for Florida State, not just by rivals, but as by busting brackets as well. Good Lord. Yeah, that's one to watch out for. And then the biggest news is players are back on campus. They're working out. They're obviously having restrictions because of COVID-19. From what I was able to gather, they're only allowed to work out in 2 to 3 player sessions. There are 2 racks of basketballs, one that have been cleaned, and then for another rack for ones that have been used after workout for them to be cleaned. Even though players are still living together, they're still having to do these restrictions. Players aren't really happy about it, but the first thing that the players said when I talked to them was they were really happy to be around each other again because they haven't seen each other since late March, early April. And to be back around and build this camaraderie is a great thing again. They're still working out on limited numbers because they're still waiting for the staff to fill out the roster, but they are back on campus and they're working out.
Are you ready for FSU trivia? Are you guys ready? I think the lead right now is 7-6 Dustin, which is shocking to me.
Yeah, Dustin came back.
Shocking.
Not that shocking.
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty shocked.
Yeah? I think the whole universe, everybody that's, kept up with this, there's tweets just ringing and it's trending everywhere that Dustin has taken the lead. I think it's a review.
I'm prepared to take it back.
Yeah, I'm glad. Okay, I'm glad things are staying tight, though. I like this. All right, so let's jump into the first question here. Like we said, Dustin has a 7-6 lead in the FSU trivia segment. We're still going to stay on a little bit of the roster numbers. I don't think we could do it last week. We had a stacked podcast with Nate, so we couldn't do it. But we're going to go back to jersey numbers, and I'm going to ask you questions if you know what the hell you're talking about when I ask who's wearing what number.
What season are we going off of before we do this?
Nope.
We can any season
different numbers in different years.
I will tell you, but at least I'm going to give you the name I'm going to let you know what the question. I'm not going to let you know because then Austin will go on Google and look it up. I just saved you, Dustin. What number does Ontaria Wilson wear?
80.
What do I want to say?
Wide receiver, Florida State, 170 pounds, sophomore from Ashburn, Georgia.
High school teammates with Terry, right?
80. Yeah, former teammate and current teammate.
Jesus, I don't know where we're going. What are the answers?
80. Even though Dustin waited a minute.
Okay.
I was just saying I wanted to say 81 at first.
I feel like his time limit was up, but
Okay.
I've been said 80.
Okay, on to the next one. What number does? Oh, this
was right.
Yes, it's 80. Sorry, ding, 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 80. This is a big change, boys. Big change. Whole 180. What number does Christian Meadows wear?
Oh my! Who
even
knows?
On the team anymore?
52.
I
don't even think he's on the team, bro.
But doesn't matter. I'm asking between past years and current.
I'm saying 52, and I don't know. That it was just the first number that came to mind. 52.
I'll say 52, and after this, I'm looking up if he's on the team or not.
The answer is 52. Yes.
Oh my God.
May 15, 2020. Florida State offensive lineman Christian Meadows has been medically disqualified. He ain't even on the team, bro.
Yep. Well, it doesn't matter. Is Derek Brooks still on the team? No.
No, and I don't know his number.
You don't know Derek Brooks' number?
What is it, like 99?
Oh, my.
I'm just kidding, dog.
I don't...
Sometimes we're not sure.
Yeah. Come on now, Dustin. You got to let us at least be worried a little bit. What number does Emmett Rice wear?
Now or did?
Now. It hasn't changed.
56, right?
He wears the number 1.
Now or then?
He said now.
Oh, he did?
Don't play no.
Bro, I swear I did not hear him. I swear I didn't hear him say now.
I even asked now or then. Like, come on.
Well, I was thinking about his number. Sorry.
Oh my god.
All right, so I'll go with 1.
What?
The thing is,
I didn't hear the question, bro.
I haven't really had any confirmation from anything of anybody that Emmett Rice has gone to number 1. So whoever would have said 56 would have been correct because that has not been a confirmed thing or official statement.
Oh crap!
Emmett Rice is still at 56.
I mean, we can just do one.
That is called an embarrassment because they brought up with social media and a photo shoot. They thought he was going to 1, but that has not happened.
He's going to 1.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it on this podcast.
No, well, we thought, but that hasn't been the case.
Shut up. Go to the next question.
What number does Brendan Gant wear?
40. I'll wait. I know.
No, say it.
Because
it's 44.
Okay, that's the correct answer.
I love how you say I'll steal your number when you've been stealing. Whatever. Next
Which
question.
number did I steal?
52.
Which one was that?
Meadows.
Next question. What number does the backup punter from last year, does he wear? Tommy Martin.
Okay, I was like, are you gonna tell us a name?
What number? I hope.
I know the first number. What was the second?
I'm on Skype. I'm literally the next week. I swear I'm going on video with you guys. That's where we're gonna.
It was either 40 or 49. I feel like. I'm going 49.
Okay.
Bro, I don't know. You said the backup punter?
Yep, Tommy Martin.
Well, he ended up becoming the starter.
Probably has some significant number. 32.
Answer is 30. 30 is
32?
I thought it was 40 or 49.
30.
Why did I think it was 49?
It's like trying to still have 32 in there. No, it's 30.
I think 49 is the new punter's number, right?
Is it Masternama or whatever his name is? I don't know.
Oh. Up next, Grant Glennon, the long snapper. What number does he wear?
46?
46 is Austin's answer. What do you have, Dustin?
47?
44.
I knew it. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm like, he wouldn't ask 244, so I'm saying 46. Oh, I'm so mad.
Man, these boys are struggling.
You're asking the long snapper.
No, don't.
The backup punter and the long snapper, back to back.
Listen to this podcast. Y'all got to start getting your stuff straight. Come on now.
I'm a basketball guy.
That's your excuse. Don't even start. All right, next question. Dennis Briggs Jr. What number does Dennis Briggs wear?
Dude, I know it's a 50. Oh, yeah, it's a 50.
55?
55 is Austin's answer.
Show up in my head, bitch.
What?
Trying to picture it.
You have 5 seconds.
All right, 57.
58.
Oh my god.
Oh my! I'm so glad we're doing this. This is everybody that's listening. I promise you, they do know quite a bit about Florida State football. But
if they know Grant Glennon, Tommy Martin's, and Dennis Briggs' number, come on.
I mean, Logan Robinson knows what's up. Let's see here. All right, y'all should kind of know this one. This is a walk-on that has gotten a lot of praise. No, he's gotten a lot of praise. Amani Kerr, linebacker.
Or what?
Who?
Kerr. Armani Kerr. Armani Kerr.
I've never heard his name in my life, and I'm being 100% honest.
He's literally the most jacked guy that you see in the videos when they're working out. Like, he is jacked. He's that guy.
I don't watch workout videos
on
because
the
I'm not
roster
you.
page whenever I scrolled through it, but that's about it.
All right, take a guess.
37. I don't know.
50, 58,
48. Oh man, this is a
You
long.
asked a walk-on linebacker. Not only are linebackers the worst team on the worst position group on the team except offensive line. It's a walk-on.
Don't worry about it. You're lesson right now. This is a good study session for you too. I know it's the off season, but you guys start getting warmed up. We're in almost July. Isaiah Bolden, what number does he wear?
20.
Dustin.
You should, dude. It's
but
27 or 29. It's 27 or 29.
You got to pick. Austin.
I was 29.
Oh, yeah, Akeem Dent's 27, right? 29 then.
29 is correct. Yes.
I was either 26 or 29. So
I'm
29.
Up next, Renardo Green.
I knew you're. I know. I think I know it.
Put it
So I'm
down.
gonna let Dustin go. No, I'm gonna let Dustin go first, so he can't steal it.
The keyboards, right, boys?
Yeah, shut my laptop a while ago.
Yeah, he's got his phone though. We know that.
30,
31.
36.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a tie. 36 is the correct answer. Austin, after a struggling game there of trivia, Austin came away with the win. It's sad that this is from last year's team, but woo. Austin, how you feeling now? You're back in the tie, like you said you're going to be making a big comeback. How do you feel? 7-6?
I knew it was going to happen. I'm going to stay prepared going into next week.
Wait, you weren't doing the 2020-21 roster? You're doing the 19-20?
Yeah.
Bro.
Dustin, how do you feel?
It was a rough outing out there. We got to go back to the drawing board. I think we got to prepare a little bit better mentally next week. We didn't come out on our A game, but
I'm not gonna lie. I figured with DeMarcus Walker coming on, we'd go through the sack list. So that's what I was doing my homework on. But
Yeah, Logan doesn't think like that. But
yeah.
Of course I don't. All right, so let's run into the last segment of the podcast. I feel like these podcasts are lasting longer and longer and longer. We need a sponsor. If anybody wants to sponsor the podcast, we're getting a lot of former Noles on here. We got a lot of NFL guys, DeMarcus Walker.
We've also got to give a spoiler, or not a spoiler, but a hint for next week.
That is true. We are going to have another big-time guest on the basketball side of things. Austin got us hooked up. I'm actually really excited about this interview. So that is going to be next week. We have a really good interview coming through that I think a lot of fans are going to be stoked about.
And the hint I dropped on Twitter was think of the number 4. And the hint I dropped in the Discord was think of a very good dunker.
Okay. I'm already thinking, even though I already know who it is, but I'm already thinking.
And I'll give another hint. It was not a player during my time as a manager, which, granted, not everyone knows my years there, but I was there from
we're all supposed to know it.
I was about to say, how famous do you think you are, man?
I'll narrow it down. It wasn't between the John Isaac season, 2016-17, and 2018-19.
Okay. All right. So some good hints here. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think it'll be a really good one. But Austin got us hooked up, so that's going to be next week. So I think, like I said, I think I put on Twitter, I talked about it in Discord or something on this podcast. I said when we are making our comeback, we are going to have some guests on, and we're kind of on a hot streak right now. So we're going to try to keep it up until the football season starts. So I love it. All right, so let's run into our last segment of the podcast, our worst bad dad jokes, to get everybody in a good mood after listening to our voices the whole time, which probably is so scary, but we're going to run through the fun segment here of bad dad jokes. Anybody want to start off? I know Austin usually is our platinum guy. He uses on his.
I've got one ready if y'all aren't.
Go right ahead and shout out to Austin. Never mind. I can't say it. Crap. He just had a tweet, Dustin. You saw he had a tweet coming at him. And I hope things are going well. I hope things are heading in the right direction. This is maybe 10. This is never mind.
I'm confused.
It's been the weather in Austin's area may be moist.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I don't understand what y'all are talking about.
Yeah. Go right ahead, Austin. Throw us. Maybe this is what you use to get that. Slide into those DMs.
No. It's been floating around recently, so you may have already seen it. But what do you call it when Batman skips church?
What's his name? Something.
Christian Bale.
What was it?
Christian Bale.
Oh my God. That one's so TikTok. That's all you, Austin. Austin stays on TikTok all day until he gets on Call of Duty. So.
That's not true, but okay.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. Up next is me. So, what happened? I just had it. Oh my gosh. I lost it.
Dustin, you got one ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go right ahead.
I just watched a documentary about beavers. It was the best damn show I ever saw.
We're heading in a really bad direction with these.
It's not getting better.
No. What time did the man go to the dentist? Tooth hurty.
You already said that one before.
I've never said that. You always say that every week that I've said these. You're a
recycler, dude.
Yeah, I care about the environment.
Some new material.
So I guess I'll go next. Recently, a guy knocked on my door asking for a donation to build a community swimming pool. You know, everyone likes their swimming pools. So I handed him a glass of water.
What? What? We might suspend this segment.
All right. Anyway, do you guys know? You guys know what the loudest pet you can get is?
What is it?
Trumpet.
Okay, we hear it. Okay. Great to bring up politics on the podcast, Dustin Lewis. Jesus.
If a trumpet is political, then what's a drum?
What is a drum?
Not political.
Oh my gosh, this is turning really bad. We had a really good podcast going, I thought, but Jesus Christ. It takes guts to be an organ donor.
A lot of them.
I'm so good at sleeping, guys. Listen to this. Dustin, you listening?
No.
I'm so good at sleeping, I can do it with my eyes closed.
Anyways, we've had more NASCAR talk on the podcast tonight than usual. So I figured NASCAR dad joke is in the works.
Okay.
As we all know, NASCAR has banned the Confederate flag. They have finally taken a turn in the right direction.
Oh, man. Good stuff there, Austin. I hope you aren't using that one in Tinder.
He prepared more for this than the dang DeMarcus Walker.
That's what he does. This is where he has his voice.
He shines right here. It doesn't make any sense.
Dustin, you kind of have been locked up in a relationship for like 15 years. So Austin he has to use these kind of jokes to use in his Tinder DMs or Twitter DMs.
Shockingly, I don't.
No?
No.
Well, I know why it's not working then for you.
Guess I'll do one more.
Yeah, go right ahead, Dustin.
Sometimes I tuck my knees into my chest and lean forward. That's just how I roll.
All right, that's where we end the podcast here. Really appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. We had a great interview with DeMarcus Walker. Making me laugh because of what that stupid thing that you just said. I actually have been picturing you rolling, and that's just something I really want to delete, just like having a bowling sports event happening on my TV screen. I just want to kind of shut it off. But I really appreciate you guys listening. As always, you can listen on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play. If you're on iTunes, please, if you feel free, rate us 5 stars and leave a review. Tell us if you like it. It really helps a lot if you leave a review. 5 stars is pretty cool. But yeah, thanks to DeMarcus Walker for coming on here with us for a 30-minute interview. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on. And maybe I think he should be the guy that we bring back on to help preview the Miami game this upcoming season. DeMarcus was awesome, so thanks to him. But yeah, we will see you guys next week. We have another big time guest coming on. Actually, 2 guests coming on next week, actually. I don't think we mentioned that, but not just one Austin's guy, but we have another one too. So we will see you guys next week. Hope you all have a great start to y'all's week. We will talk to you guys later.
Mama told me not to say a word. 17, 5, same color,